Well, it's Monday, July 10. You might remember when we talked to Les Cotton and Michael Savage before they were going to climb Mount Whitney. Brenda Rogers is with Lifeline-connect. How are you, Brenda? Nice to see you again.
Great.
Get a little closer to that microphone in case.
I'm doing awesome.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, tell me what this is all about. Lifeline-connect is what?
Lifeline-connect is a residential recovery center for men with substance abuse.
And you've been doing this how long?
10.5 years.
Why so under the radar until now?
We've been reaching men all over the United States.
But why hasn't, I mean, now you're coming out being very open, wanting people to come learn more. Why now?
Why now? We feel like we've gotten a lot of experience in 10.5 years.
Okay.
The hardest place to reach.
You think it works?
It definitely works.
Okay, because
we got him with us. Yeah. You can hear him.
We got Les Cotton, Michael Savage. How are you guys?
Doing great.
All right, that's Les. Say hey, Michael.
Hey.
So you guys decided to go climb Mount Whitney, which is how high?
14,500 feet.
14,500 feet. And so why? Because it's there? That's what they say about mountains.
Well, there's a twofold purpose. Number one, the challenge of reaching a life goal, just to kind of test to see what you're made out of, and also a way to be able to give back to a program that saved our life by raising funds for this new dormitory.
Okay, Michael, your reasoning? Same thing?
My reasoning, too, is to raise money for this new dormitory.
Okay.
And to raise the funds to be able to help other men's future.
Okay, your story, Michael. Tell people that don't remember the last time we visited. What happened to you?
My story is that I came from St. Louis, Missouri. Before coming to Lifeline-connect, I had been through multiple recovery centers in Missouri. I had been through all types of halfway houses, and I was a troubled youth. I had gotten in trouble with the law as well. I wound up in prison. I started my addiction with cigarettes and then marijuana and then prescription drugs, and found myself at a methadone clinic. And the methadone.
So you were meth.
Yeah,
no.
I was on
methadone. That's different than meth.
Methadone is a substitute for an opiate addiction.
Okay,
but it's actually more addictive than the heroin. And I wound up meeting almost every heroin addict in the city of St. Louis, and that's how I started on the needle.
Okay, and so why did it work here and not there? How come Lifeline Connect worked for you?
Well, the difference maker for me was that it was a faith-based program, whereas in all these other programs, they say you should believe in something that's greater than yourself, but this program defined what that was for me. And when God changed my life and faith was involved, it gave me a purpose in life, and it filled that hole in that void, which was always left empty with all these other programs.
I mean, because it's an amazing transformation. Because I would, if you were standing on the sidewalk, I wouldn't pick you. Just look fantastic. You have this radiance about you. Isn't that incredible?
It is.
I mean,
it's all the work of the Lord.
And here you are climbing mountains. Okay, Les, your story a little different. He was in the streets of St. Louis. You kind of more the preppy route, weren't you? I mean, a college guy and all that stuff.
Yes, I was raised in a well-to-do family, and when I went to college, I kind of lost my way and got involved in the party scene, and left my roots, what was instilled in me at a young age, and found myself eventually bound to prescription drugs, specifically pain pills.
When you're doing all that, you know it's wrong. You know your parents would be upset. You know they'd be disappointed, but you keep doing it because the draw is too much, right?
Right.
And you want to lose yourself at some point to say, I got to get out of this thing. I don't want to remember this. I want to do all that. Is that the thinking?
You're exactly right, because what happens is, it is fun for a season, but then you find yourself using just to kind of forget all of the collateral damage that addiction has caused in your life. So it's kind of a vicious cycle.
Were you here in Illinois?
No, I was actually in Louisiana.
Okay. In Louisiana, what school?
McNeese State University.
Okay, sure, McNeese State. And so while this is going, because I'm really restless. I've got 4 kids at Illinois, and I talk to them all the time. I say, what is the thinking about people binge drinking? What is the think about the goal of losing memory and not wanting to remember? And to be so unhappy with your existence? Is that part? I don't understand it. Why do people do that? Say, I'm going out and getting blasted. I won't remember anything. Why?
Well, I don't think that it starts out that way. I think that it initially it becomes something that is just fun. It's a social thing. I believe that it helps people get past wounds in their life, and breaks down walls.
There's
where
a
they
lot
feel
of
like
issues.
There's a new freedom that they can experience because that drug is temporarily anesthetizing something that they've had numb for so long. So they feel like a different part of themselves is alive. But then the draw to that is that you continually start to use that, and then that addictive behavior and the collateral damage comes along with that, and then you find yourself using because you don't want to think, or you don't have the energy like myself to even get up and go to school and make your classes unless you have that drug in your system. Then it's no longer fun. Then it's okay, I've got to have it. I got to do whatever it takes to get it. And then, like in my life, for example, I had 2 DUIs back to back. So then I found myself using even more to not think about that. Was sent off to a recovery nurse program. And so there's the embarrassment of your colleagues and your nursing career ruined. So then I'm wanting to use even more because I felt like I've destroyed my life.
You spiraled out of control.
Absolutely.
And so why does Lifeline-Connect work for you?
Well, I believe it worked for me. Number one is it brought me back to what I knew, and that was a relationship in Jesus Christ. I had experienced the power of God in my life, being raised in church, and I knew that was the only thing that would be able to change me. But the main difference between Lifeline-Connect and the recovery nurse program that I went to, which was a secular program, was that this program actually addresses so many aspects of your life, not just the addictions, but the spiritual component, the physical, the emotional, the mental, the financial. It makes you be a whole person. And addictions, it affects so many areas of your life that you need to have that broad spectrum to address every issue, because the number one way that we receive wounds in life is through relationships. So whenever we have healthy relationships like we do in a safe place in Lifeline-Connect, that helps us to trust again, helps us to take a risk again, and the only way that we're going to experience change is if we feel safe enough to take that risk. And that's what Lifeline did for me, was creating that safe environment.
It's just a God-inspired stuff. Michael, the mountain. You guys climbed this mountain. Go as planned. Was it hard to breathe? Tell me about it.
Absolutely. It was tough and it was a challenge, but I am so glad that we trained for it, because had we not trained for it, I believe it would have went a lot differently. But because we trained and we had the encouragement of all the guys that came, it was tough and it challenged me.
What, you wonder if you were going to do it? I mean, do you think maybe we're not going to make this thing?
Well, there was certain times, when we got to the base of what they call the chute, which is the steepest part of the climb, and that's where we camped as well. So we got to sit there at the base of that chute and stare at it for hours.
I mean, it's pretty
and
steep.
And there was moments where I questioned whether I was going to make it or not.
Scary.
But because everyone was there and the accountability factor and the encouragement of the brothers, we were able to make the climb.
How many in Mount Whitney with you? How many?
5.
5 of you. Okay.
5 including me.
Les, what about you? I mean, did you think you could get up the chute?
Well, I made my mind up that I was going to do it. And a major reason was because this climb was just not about me, but it was about others. And Mike and I actually had an emotional moment, because while we were on the chute, we just looked at each other and said, this isn't about us. This is about people that are struggling, that are hurting. And this is about families and their children, and gave us the strength to be able to continue on the hardest part of that journey.
Well, and because when you're and breathing is an issue, right? I mean,
absolutely, Stevie J. My heartbeat seemed like it was in my ears at 12,000 feet elevation and above. It just seemed like we couldn't catch our breath.
All right, Michael, the moment you're at the summit, what is that like?
The moment that I was at the summit was amazing. And it was epic, and it was just that, the feeling that I completed it, and to know that, we completed the goal that we set out to do, and that the purpose was greater than me. Like Les had mentioned, it started out that we were just going to do this climb for ourselves, but then, we decided to do it as a fundraiser, and to think of all the men and their families and their children that is the reason and the purpose behind the climb, and that, there is going to be children that are going to have a father because of the money that we're trying to raise for this program. It was inspiring.
Brenda Rogers, I don't care what you've done in 10.5 years. These two are enough. I mean, it's remarkable. Lifeline Connect's got a luncheon coming up, and you're inviting people to
Yes.
just learn about it,
Yes.
and maybe they want to become financially active and help. Is that
Well, the informational meeting isn't really about finance.
Okay.
The informational meeting is just letting people know about Lifeline. People in the community are very interested. Chief Cobb will be speaking a little bit there.
Okay.
Our staff will be there. These guys will be there. Some of the men that are residents will be there. We're going to answer questions, show
That's
a
awesome.
video,
That's
just
just
share
great.
all about
Yeah.
Lifeline. For
Awesome.
them to go to register, we
Yep.
kind of have to know it includes
Sure.
lunch.
Sure.
It's
Well, free
lunch.
lunch.
And that's
I
why
thought you couldn't get a free
no,
lunch.
Eastland
Oh,
Suites is actually donating the space and the lunch.
that's wonderful.
And so just go to lifelineconnect.org, and right there on the front you can register if you'd like to come and learn more about Lifeline.
It's July 20, which is 10 days from now. Again, you can call Brenda. Should I
Yep.
give the number? 621-9649.
And it's 12 to 1 on that day.
1 hour.
1 hour.
All right. And you're invited to learn more about Lifeline Connect, obviously working. Two great examples with Michael Savage and Les Cotton. God bless both of you guys. Way to go. You climbed a mountain. I mean, that's just, man. I climbed Roy's Peak in New Zealand, was 4,300 and I almost died. Okay.
Stevie, we need to give you the total of what they did.
What's the total? The money.
The money. Don't
You
forget
raised
the
money. All right, let me
Yes.
guess. $2,500.
Nope.
4,250.
Nope.
All right, how much did you guys raise?
Well, at this point we are right now, $77,204.
Excuse me.
Yes. Yes. And the cool thing, I got
thought you
more.
said 77,000.
I did.
Come on.
77. I can't even talk. $77,204 so far.
That is outstanding.
Now, what we've got going on right now is really amazing. We have a donor that is for today, $24,000. They will match whatever comes in through this
Today.
today. This
So
is today.
It's one of those order before midnight. And
Right. It is.
So
You
it's
double
800. Yeah, I've heard those ads before. All right, so today, anybody gives $50 that's matched $50.
Right. And here's the deal with that. That would make $48,000. If we can do that
Wow.
today, that's $48,000, which would reach our goal for the climb.
24 people at $1,000 each, you're there.
You got it. Or 240
All
at
right,
100.
So today is a matching deal.
Yes.
That somebody's going to match $24,000 for this
Yes.
program that helps guys like Mike and Les. And so how would they do that?
What they need to do is just go to lifelineconnect.org. Right there, you'll see from the valley to the mountaintop.
Well,
And just push it. There's 12 teams in the community, businesses, people that are helping. You can give
Yeah.
through them or just straight through Lifeline.
thank you for coming in.
Yeah.
Brenda Rogers, Mike Savage, Les Cotton. I'm excited for you. Way to go. That's just a big deal. You've done
Stevie
a great.
J, we are going to throw one more thing today.
Okay.
Anybody that gives $100 or more, we're going to go ahead and give the T-shirt.
A T-shirt?
A T-shirt that just like the guys climbed. It says from the valley to the mountaintop. And so they just need to go to lifelineconnect.org, either register for the dinner or do both, give and register. We'll let you know what happens today.
Lifelineconnect.org. Thank you for coming in, Brenda. Awesome. Michael, Les,
Thank you.
way to
Thank
go.
you.
I'm inspired.
for having us.
Well done.